Hi everybody, this is my indoor koi pond, and this is my infrared thermometer. And what I've been finding is over the course of the night, this pond is getting cooler and cooler. We haven't even really gotten into the cold weather yet. It's only mid-December, and we are getting some overnight freezes, but we haven't gotten into that really harsh winter weather yet. And so I'm hoping I can get through the winter keeping this unheated. Now I know what some of you are probably thinking. Of course you can. It's got koi in there and goldfish, and they do just fine in, frozen over ponds. But you may notice I've also got guppies in there. I've got some cherry barbs in there. I've got some platies in there, and I've got some mollies in there. I'm going to have a banjo catfish in there in the fairly near future. So I really do need to keep the temperature up. And when I came down this morning, it was only 71 degrees. And when I came down yesterday morning, it was about 72.7 or 8. So it was getting close to 73 degrees. And now it's down to 71.1 this morning. So it's definitely slowly losing heat each night. It gets a little bit cooler. And then during the day, it probably does not have enough time to really warm up again and get back up to temperature. So we can slowly lose temperature during the night again. So I'm experiencing a net loss in temperature every night. So what we're doing today is we are jacking up the heat in the fish room. It is so stinking warm in here. It's gross, but I'm trying to get everything warmed up in here. I'm just trying to get all the tanks nice and warm. I'm trying to get the concrete nice and warm. I want the wood that this is made out of nice and warm, and I want to get that water in there warmed up over the course of the afternoon, and then we're going to see how much heat it actually loses overnight. We'll take a test tonight right before the lights go out, and it'll have maximum warmth at that point. And then, well, actually, I guess by the time I turn the heater off, it'll have maximum warmth, and then it'll start cooling down from there. But right now, with the heater going, and it's sitting right here next to all this stuff, you can see these rocks are 88 degrees. That's fairly warm. Get on this edge where the heater's shining. So that wood's getting pretty warm. Like I said, it's fairly warm in here. If we just do a random across the room, which hits just a huge swath and tells us the basic room temperature, if we look at the ceiling. So I've got it up to about 87 or 88 degrees in here. Get down to this end of the room and the temperature starts getting a little lower. Come back up to this end of the room, and the temperature is much warmer. So I've got a fan. It's in the hallway out there blowing across this and blowing the air over the tank and into the room. And we now have 73 degree water. If we hit some of the stuff up here on the surface, it's much warmer because it's exposed to that warm air. But the water temperature is coming up a bit. So we'll have to wait and see how long I can stand having this heater on here. It's on as low as it'll go, but these kerosene heaters put out a lot of heat, even on low. Again, it's got this room jacked up to the upper 80s, and it's only been in here for about an hour, and it is already really warm in here. So there you go, everybody. We are going to come back in the morning and test it, and again, we'll test when I turn the heater off this afternoon, and so on and so forth. So I will consider that the opening gambit of this video, and in the morning we'll do a quick follow-up, and we'll have any thoughts on how much heat we got into the tank over the course of the day, and then we'll see how much heat we lose over the course of a single night down here in the basement. Alright everybody, according to the stage direction, it is later that same day, and I've already come to the conclusion that my idea of trying to just keep a space heater in this room and keep this room warm is not going to work. That kerosene heater got the room very, very uncomfortably warm. My whole entire basement is uncomfortably warm at this point, and after all that, it's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we have brought the temperature in the tank up a whopping 1 degree. So in theory, I could warm this tank by warming the whole room, and we could go ahead and see how long it took to cool back down and all that kind of stuff. But I think the most sensible way of doing this, if I really want to be serious about warming this tank up, is I can simply come up here to the business end of the tank, pond, whatever you want to call it, and I have a pump underneath of here that flows the water in and, you know, flows down there and everything. I could just put a heater, 300 watt heater down here near the pump. I also have an air stone. You can see the activity over here. That's from an air stone in there. So the water circulation happens at this end of the tank, and so if I had a heater in here, we could just actually heat the thing up a lot more efficiently than trying to do it by burning kerosene, which costs me $10 a gallon, and we probably burned through close to a gallon of heating this afternoon while it was down here today. So we probably spent about $8 worth of kerosene to heat this tank up by 1 degree. I think I could probably be a little more efficient with that with a space heater in there, a tank heater, aquarium heater, whatever. So there you go. That was a brief-lived experiment, but we are going to go ahead and see if I can get the glare out of your eyes. There you go. So I am going to go ahead and start shopping around for a nice aquarium heater. We're going to put something in there because I think over the course of the winter, sitting down here on the floor in, you know, more or less direct contact with the concrete, it never occurred to me to put some foam insulation or styrofoam or anything down underneath of this. It's just right on the plywood, very thin sheet of plywood for the bottom of the pond, and then that plywood is just sitting right on the basement floor, so that concrete's just sucking heat right out of this tank. So we'll see. I'm probably going to wind up having to put a heater on it, but in the meantime, again, that was my short-lived little experiment on looking at the heat in my pond here. So I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you're subscribed. You won't miss any updates I got going on or any other little projects I'm working on. And don't forget, I do a live stream every Friday night and Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you real soon on the next one.